Hi everyone, and welcome to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. My name's Adam Sykes, the founder of SwiftCase, the professional productivity platform. And today I've got with me
Craig McCarthy, development manager of SwiftCase.
Phil Whitby, developer of SwiftCase.
Okay, great. So, as you can see when you look out your window, we are right in the middle of what Philip K. Dick envisaged in Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
Everything looks exactly as it did with the film of Harrison Ford. So what we thought we'd do is, seeing as we managed to predict that so well in the 1980s, 70s?
That was 81.
81. We thought we'd do the next decade in this podcast. So anyone want to kick off with their predictions for the next decade?
First one, right?
Yeah.
You know,
are we talking about early decade or late decade here? We're going to start with the next couple of years.
It's already kind of happening, isn't it? But it'll be very much more the mainstream.
Yeah.
Right, so you've had a few drinks, New Year's Eve, Happy New Year everyone.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Of course,
assuming that's when this goes out. But you know, you're stumbling home after you've just been to a party. You're looking for your keys. Can't find them anywhere. Lost them, haven't you? What are you going to do?
You're going to have to break the window, Greg, again.
No, not in the future. Not in this decade.
Yeah.
Because I think the front door key is going fit like a physical sort of key will go. It'll either be to be fair, a lot of buildings already, they've got the toggles, haven't they?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it'll probably all be like app powered.
You think?
And stuff like that.
Like your ring, the ring doorbell thing will detect your face and it'll go, let in, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because obviously if you have it related to your phone, you can lose your phone easily.
Yeah.
So this
needs to be biometric, doesn't it?
Well, someone's going to propose this. It's probably already.
Absolutely will be acceptable because it's already acceptable for your phone.
But what the other thing I predict shortly after is the uproar when someone manages to break in.
Yeah, edge cases.
The
twin.
Yeah, exactly. The 2 or 3 times when it happens.
Yeah.
And it'll get pushed back to the next decade.
Of course.
So I do think it's gonna come about and it'll become more mainstream this decade. But we won't see it in full effect until 2030 onwards.
Well, there's a William Gibson quote, which is like everyone probably knows, which is like the future is already here, just hasn't been mass distributed yet. It's like generally, people that predict the future do better if they just look at what Japan is doing. So whatever they're doing now is what we'll be doing in 5 or 10 years. So things like social media, like TikTok and stuff like that, all kind of take off there initially and then spread over here. And they've always been on the edge of like 3G before everyone else, 4G before everyone else, using smartphones, all this kind of thing. And
5G, I suppose, is a great one.
Oh yeah,
5G's coming.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that's like. I think that's a safe prediction.
Yeah.
But what's it going to bring with it?
It's going to bring like amazing, hopefully, traffic management through automatic cars. So like huge amounts of bandwidth means.
But they're the big. That's the big
real time, isn't it? It's going towards real time.
Yeah.
Things.
So like your experience of browsing the web will probably be no different. That's the thing about 5G that people don't quite get. It's like, yes, you might be able to get half a gigabit or a gigabit per second, but the speed of browsing the web is basically limited by your phone's rendering capacity, rather than like
internet speeds. We've gone past the point, haven't we? Now, where it's like
latency and things like that are more important than actual speed of battle.
Because it's like you can't watch the latest Rick and Morty episode in a second.
Yeah. Well, actually, for another podcast, that is actually an issue. I'll drop this in for a future podcast. As apparently, content creators are going mad, especially the more artsy people. Yeah. Because the new thing is to watch your content at a faster speed.
Yeah. That was
so that you can get more in and binge on the box set faster.
Wasn't it because of The Irishman? Because The Irishman is like 3 hours long. The Netflix film by Scorsese.
Probably.
And it was like he this all came about because he had a big complaint about
that would be the one
art.
I missed that bit.
Cinema, Anyway, we'll talk about the next podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the next podcast.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'd love someone watching that just so Al Pacino's voice goes like that was the real reason.
Brilliant. Okay, so we've had some pretty weak predictions here. So are we going to get something like flying cars?
Absolutely not.
No. We'll never get them.
I think cars as a service.
Yeah.
I think I think that is going to.
Well, subscription based anything.
Subscription based cars is
everything.
I think subscription anything where it's a big purchase It's environmentally unfriendly. It's you don't use it all the time. There's too much congestion on the roads. There's got to be something to solve that issue. Certainly over the next 10 years, maybe the next 20 years. We're already talking about, we're going to have to go to electric. So we're going to have electric cars, but can everyone afford to go to electric?
Probably not a heavy subsidy, maybe. Well, people can't really afford cars they've already got.
That's what I mean. So it's like it's a massive debt mountain at the moment, isn't it? Like cars are probably one of the things which are an issue that people are paying. Like even for the cheapest cars, £120 a month.
To lease
to lease them, and you don't even own them at the end. You've probably got another.
That's so true. Everything's subscription
over 5 years.
You used to buy your mobile phone years ago and then get like credit or go on like a tariff. But you used to buy it. It was unheard of, wasn't it? Yeah. And then obviously with the rise of the smartphone, everything became contract. No one outright buys a phone anymore.
Yeah, they're too expensive.
They do, but
generally for one purchase.
They don't really do. No one's going to drop $1,000 down unless you've got like that much disposable income.
Which is ironic because you could probably get a perfectly brilliant £150 Chinese smartphone that does everything that your iPhone or thing can get.
You've got like reseller fees with Chinese smartphones. That's the second episode with Chinese smartphones.
The Asian markets.
Of course, so like the capacity is there to have all that functionality, but we just have to have.
It's the brand, isn't it? It's a status symbol, isn't it? Really. But I think that I suppose that's an issue that maybe might become an issue. More of a thing over the coming decade. Is really the idea that people are becoming more, environmentally conscious. Yeah. They don't want to throw things away. I mean, I was speaking to, I think it was the guy cutting my hair the other day, and he was saying. He bought a t-shirt from some company where basically you buy the t-shirt but you can send it back to them and they print on. Yeah. No, they print on a new design. And then send it back to you so you can
just on top of the original one.
Yeah, well like say it's a plain t-shirt like you've bought. Yeah. You can send it back to them and then get a design printed on it. And then you can send it back again and they'll chop it up with other material. Yeah. And then they can make a new t-shirt again out of it. So the idea that clothes will be recyclable, because clothes are one of the biggest, I think only number 2 on the most environmentally damaging things is actually the fashion industry after oil and gas, because of the sheer amount of water it uses and land it takes up to produce say cotton or whatever else materials.
Never mind the chemicals.
As well as all the chemicals and the fact that they don't get recycled, they just go in landfill, don't they? I mean, you can...
so we might end up with a clothes recycling bin outside a house rather than just outside a shop, which is where we have them.
Even not necessarily recycling in that way, but actually
just passing them on.
We're going back to the clothes as a service.
That's so interesting.
Your clothing kind of isn't things you own
from a dispenser, and you go, oh right.
Yeah, but it's not things you own. You buy
you buy something that fits and is a fit that you like.
Yeah.
And then you get something printed on. That's really.
So then we go back to the fact because we went down a road, didn't we? Over say I don't know, from the 90s when the places like Primark and so on came out, where it was cheap as anything that you could literally people buying stuff and throwing it away after a month because they wanted the next thing, but also because it was falling apart because they made it so cheap that actually we go back to having one thing that's high quality that lasts longer but can be updated.
I love that. I hated it at first when you first mentioned it. I was like, I don't
getting
like
some
this.
dirty t-shirt back.
Yeah, what the hell is this?
But then, what happens is it's a bit like an avatar that you have to change, like your Facebook avatar. They have to change every day. It's like
the thing is,
I'm going to show my support for gay pride. I'm going to get a rainbow print on this.
The
today.
opportunity though to do that,
like
the technological opportunities.
But don't you think that it would require some kind of home printing capacity?
Yeah, or you send it off somewhere though.
I reckon it won't take off until you can do it at home.
Or
but then
you finally replace all these bloody shops that are shutting down with something that you can actually go to and get printed.
I see, So it's like that whole experience where you go, it's like getting a shave or getting a haircut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like almost a biological necessity, not quite. But
because actually that's thinking going back to science. If you had something that there was an enzyme you could put on that removed the print,
I'm sure that
was safe. You could almost, even if it was printed, you could remove it. It was safe in the wash, but there was some way you could remove it with a process. You could get it back to original cotton T-shirt or whatever.
Probably wouldn't be cotton. I reckon. Yeah, there's
maybe
there.
not. Yeah,
you monetize the designs then, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And another opportunity for cottage industry growth for individuals to earn income without having to leave.
There's a few sites out there, like Etsy's one of them, isn't it? But there's dedicated ones though for artists to upload their photos, those graphics or whatever. Like Redbubble is one of them,
and Cafe Press.
And you can basically put it on all sorts of stuff. It'd be like that, wouldn't it?
And then there'll be all the issues that you have where people using images, like stealing them and designs and like, so like, you know, you could wear a Gucci dress or you could have a Gucci print and people wouldn't know it was fake because the colours weren't quite right.
You'd have a whole new host of problems for us to discuss.
Oh mate, I can't wait for like my kids to be under immense pressure at school because they didn't change their print every 30 seconds. Do you know what I mean? I can't wait till they're crying at me, like demanding a 3D printer.
I was going to say, just moving on to another thing, I think 3D printing hasn't really taken off yet.
There are, thanks to our Chinese friends, there are like really cheap, sponsored by whatever, Banggood. They've got very, very cheap 3D printers that are like desktop ones, aren't
they? But they're still concepts, aren't they? Like what can you print? I know you can print out something that's like a model or something, and it's like, you know, but we're not at.
Well, the barrier to entry is creativity, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, true, but we're not at Star Trek replicator level yet, are we?
Yeah. How good? But then the question is, how good does it have to be before we get to widespread adoption? How good does it have to be? What does it have to make?
I think. Well, I suppose it's things that you want instantly, don't you?
That happen to be made out of plastic.
That happen to be, or other substances. They have done like different resins and so on and things.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I can see how you could almost imagine how they could make MDF. On the fly, you know, and so on. As long as they could cure the glue quick enough to have the wood, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm gonna get sidetracked onto.
But that's a good shout, actually.
But do you know what I mean? Like, we already get next day or even same day delivery.
So it has to be as fast as that.
There's no point in having anything apart from, I suppose, if we can make it so the costs come down dramatically and we're not congesting our roads with, you know, delivery trucks. But it have to be something you want quite quickly.
I think it'll have to be an industry that realises that it's cheaper for people to do something at home than it is for them to construct it and deliver it.
Yeah.
And then provide that as a service. So you could imagine, like I say, you know, some like B&Q would like, well, rather than us having to make screws or parts for whatever you bought, you buy the B&Q branded 3D printer and then you pay for it and we'll like remotely send the template for it to make it there or something. Do you know what I mean?
For like spare parts
or whatever. Like,
I don't think you'd want loads of different printers.
No, that's the thing. It's like
you'd have to be a universal printer for it to take off.
But we've already seen how there's this atomization of things. So you think, I just want one streaming service. You end up with 50 streaming services because capitalism finds a way to atomize things. And
I hate it.
So if you've got any ideas about what will be the latest things over the next decade, then please drop them in the comments below.
And don't wait until the next decade to visit our website, swiftcase.co.uk. You can also find us on social media and probably all the future social medias as well. That will no doubt arise. At SwiftCase UK.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to see more of this content.
Okay, and because we got so involved in this one, we're going to carry on in the next episode to discuss what we think will be coming in the next decade. So please tune in for that one. And we'll see you again next time. Thanks for listening to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast, and we'll see you again then.